Before we get going, a quick question, and I want the honest answer. Think of the worst group project you've ever been part of. School, university, work, anywhere. What actually went wrong? Was it one person doing everything or nobody doing anything?
Oh, easy. It was both at the same time somehow. University project, 4 of us, one person did literally the entire thing, and the other 2 showed up on the final day to collect the grade. I've never seen teamwork fail so beautifully.
The classic setup. The workhorse and the passengers. So which one were you? And be honest, because I have a feeling I already know.
I was the workhorse, unfortunately, and I did what workhorses do. I complained loudly, did all the work anyway, and silently resented every single person on that team. I got top marks and a burning desire to never work with humans again. It was a mixed result.
And on that note, welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Emma, your host, and this is Jake, my co-host, and recovering group project survivor.
Recovering. Still in therapy, honestly. Anyway, today's topic is one we can all relate to: why teamwork fails and how to fix it. It's a topic full of useful language, so stick with us.
Exactly, and let's start with the cliché. The overused phrase everyone knows. Teamwork makes the dream work. Lovely idea, but if that's true, why do so many teams end up like Jake's university project?
Because teamwork makes the dream work is the slogan on the poster. The reality is a group chat with one person doing everything and 3 people sending emojis. The slogan forgets the hard part, making teams actually work.
So let's dig into it. Why does teamwork fail? I don't want the surface answer. I want the real reasons, the ones nobody puts on the poster.
Okay, real reasons. Reason 1, unclear roles. When everyone is responsible, nobody is responsible. When a job belongs to everyone, it belongs to no one. Everyone assumes someone else will do it, and then nobody does.
That's so true. There's even a name for it, the bystander effect. The more people who see a problem, the less likely any one person is to step in, because everyone thinks someone else will handle it.
The bystander effect. I've seen it in every bad team I've ever joined. Everyone's waiting for someone else to take the lead, to step up, to take responsibility. While they're all waiting, nothing happens.
And reason 2? You said there were more.
Reason 2, the free rider problem. A free rider lets others do the work while enjoying the same benefits: the grade, the credit, the paycheck. They don't contribute, but they're happy to collect. And one free rider poisons the whole team.
Why? Because the workhorses notice. And once they notice, they stop working hard. They think, why should I do everything when they do nothing? And then the whole project starts falling apart. Crumbling.
Exactly. It's like a chain. If one link is weak, the whole chain is weak. That's why teams fail more often than individuals. One person can drag everyone down. There's a saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. A classic English proverb. It means the team's success depends on its weakest member. But wait, is that always true? I want to push back a little.
Go on. You're about to argue with a proverb. I'm here for it.
Hear me out. Sometimes a strong team can carry a weak member. If the other links are strong enough, the chain still holds. So maybe it's not the weakest link that matters. Maybe it's the strongest link's willingness to help. Support, helping each other out.
That's generous. But in my experience, helping someone who isn't trying just makes you the workhorse again. There's a difference between supporting and carrying. Support is, how can I help you? Carrying is, let me do it all for you.
That's a really important distinction. Support lifts people up. Carrying drags you down. And I think that's where a lot of teams go wrong. The line between helping and taking over gets blurred, becomes unclear.
Exactly. And once you start carrying someone, they stop trying. Why wouldn't they? You're doing it all. You've created a free rider without meaning to. The kindest thing you can do is stop carrying and start talking.
Okay, so we've got unclear roles, free riders, and people carrying instead of supporting. What else kills a team? Because I feel like we're just getting started.
Reason 3, and this one's painful for me personally.
bad communication. Teams don't fail because people are lazy. They fail because people don't talk to each other. Messages get ignored, decisions get made without everyone, and suddenly half the team doesn't know what's happening.
And there's a lovely phrase for that, left out of the loop. When you're out of the loop, you don't know what's happening. You've been excluded from the information. That makes people feel useless, and useless people stop caring.
And the opposite is in the loop, when you're kept informed, when people make sure you know what's happening. Teams that communicate well keep everyone in the loop. Bad teams let people drift out.
So communication is the glue. And I think there's another phrase that explains a lot of team failures. Dropping the ball. It means failing to do something you are responsible for, like dropping a ball you were supposed to catch.
Oh, I've dropped the ball plenty of times. We all have. But the problem isn't the dropping, it's the silence. When someone drops the ball and doesn't tell anyone, the team finds out too late. A dropped ball you hear about early is fixable. A dropped ball you discover at the deadline is a disaster.
So bad teams hide problems and good teams share them early. What about meetings, though? I feel like bad meetings deserve their own category of teamwork failure.
Meetings, the black hole of productivity. I once sat in a meeting that was called to plan another meeting. I'm not joking. 2 hours, no decisions, and we finished by agreeing to meet again. The opposite of teamwork, time wasting with extra chairs.
Time wasting with extra chairs. I'm going to use that forever. And there's a phrase for meetings where nobody actually decides anything. Talking in circles. You go round and round, you discuss everything, and you end up exactly where you started.
Talking in circles. That's most of my old team's meetings. We'd argue about the same 3 points every week. Nothing ever got decided, and then everyone would wonder why the project wasn't moving. The project wasn't moving because we were standing still talking.
So what's the fix for that? Because I think everyone listening has been in a meeting like that. How do you stop the circling?
The fix is boring but effective. Decisions need deadlines. Every meeting should end with who does what by when. If you leave a meeting without knowing your task, that meeting was a waste of time. Simple as that.
Who does what by when? That's a brilliant rule. It turns vague talk into a clear plan. And actually, I think that connects to something bigger. Teams fail when the plan is fuzzy, unclear, undefined. They succeed when everyone knows their job.
Exactly. Clarity is kindness. When the expectations are clear, people feel safe. When they're vague, people get anxious, and anxious people either freeze or panic. Either way, the work suffers.
Clarity is kindness. I love that. Okay, let me bring up something we haven't talked about yet. The elephant in the room. You know that phrase? It means a big, obvious problem that everyone can see, but nobody wants to talk about.
The elephant in the room. Every team has one. Mine had a giant one. One of the members was simply not doing their job, and nobody wanted to say it out loud. We'd talk around it, avoid the subject for months.
So what happened? Did the elephant ever get addressed?
Eventually, yes, but only when it was almost too late. The project was behind schedule, and our manager finally called a meeting and said the thing everyone had been avoiding. This isn't working, and we need to change how we work. It was awkward, but it saved the project.
So the uncomfortable conversation was the fix. And there's a phrase for that, having a difficult conversation. It's when you talk about something sensitive, something awkward, because it needs to be said, even though nobody wants to say it. And the secret is, difficult conversations are easier than you think.
And the problem we imagine, the conflict, the anger, is usually worse in our heads than in reality. Most people actually respect honesty. They'd rather hear the truth than be talked about behind their backs.
That's true. But let me ask you, are some people just bad at teamwork? Be honest. Is it a skill you can learn, or are some people born lone wolves? People who prefer to work alone.
I used to think I was a lone wolf. I work better alone. That was my personality for years. But here's what I learned. It wasn't that I was bad at teamwork. It was that I'd never been on a team worth working with. Give me clear roles and good communication, and suddenly I'm a team player.
So teamwork is a skill, and like any skill, it depends on the conditions. Put a good person in a broken system, and they look like a bad teammate. Fix the system, and suddenly everyone looks better.
That's such an important point. Most of the time, it's not the people, it's the system. The unclear roles, the bad communication, the missing deadlines. Change the system and you change the team. People don't fail teams. Processes fail teams.
People don't fail teams. Processes fail teams. That's going on the poster. Okay, let me ask you something personal. What's the best team you've ever been on? Because I want to know what good looks like, not just what bad looks like.
Oh, that's easy. A small project team I joined a few years ago, just 4 of us. The difference was night and day, completely different. Everyone had a clear job, we checked in, we updated each other every morning for 10 minutes, and nobody was afraid to ask for help.
What made it work, do you think? Was it the people, or was it something they did?
It was a mix, but if I had to name one thing, we liked each other. Not fake office politeness liked, actually liked. We had lunch together, we laughed, we knew about each other's lives. And that made the work easier, because when you trust someone, you stop defending yourself and start helping.
So trust is the foundation, and there's a word for that kind of team, psychologically safe. It means people feel safe to speak up, to make mistakes, to say, I don't know, without being judged. In psychologically safe teams, people do their best work.
Psychological safety. That's the real secret. Google studied hundreds of their teams, and the number one factor wasn't talent or IQ, it was psychological safety. Teams where people felt safe to be honest outperformed everything else.
That's fascinating. So the best predictor of a good team isn't intelligence, it's safety. The feeling that you won't be punished for asking a question or admitting a mistake.
Exactly. Because if you can't ask questions, you can't learn. If you can't admit mistakes, you can't fix them. The team that looks perfect on paper but where everyone's scared to speak, that's the team that will fail. The team with honest questions and small mistakes, that's the team that wins.
Okay, so let's get practical, because I think we owe our listeners some real fixes. If someone's in a struggling team right now, what do they do? Where do they start?
First, name the problem. Is it unclear roles, bad communication, a free rider? You can't fix a problem you haven't named, identified and defined. So write it down. What's actually going wrong?
And once they've named it?
Second, start the conversation. Talk to the team, not about the team. Say, I think we're struggling with X, and I'd like to fix it. 9 times out of 10, everyone else has been thinking the same thing. You'll be surprised how many people are waiting for someone to say it.
That's brave advice. And for our learners, lovely phrases for this. Air it out, to talk openly about a problem so it can be solved. Or clear the air, to remove the tension by talking honestly.
Clear the air. I love that one. Like opening a window in a stuffy room. And there's get on the same page, to make sure everyone has the same understanding. We need to get on the same page about the deadline.
And once you're on the same page, then what? Because naming the problem and talking about it is step 1 and 2. Is there a step 3?
Step 3, assign everything. Every task gets an owner. One person, not the team, not someone, one name. And every decision gets a deadline. You do this by Friday. One clear job and one clear date, and the team can't fall apart.
One owner, one deadline. That's beautifully simple. And I'd add a step 4, celebrate the small wins. Teams that only focus on problems, on what's going wrong, burn out fast. Teams that notice progress keep going.
Yes, celebrating small wins is huge. It doesn't have to be a party, just a great job on that, thank you, goes a long way. Recognition, acknowledging someone's effort is like fuel for a team. Without it, people run on empty.
So the fixes are name the problem, talk about it, assign everything, and celebrate the wins. That's a solid toolkit. But let me ask you the question that's been on my mind all episode. Is it better to work alone or in a team? Because I genuinely go back and forth.
That's the million-dollar question. My honest answer, it depends on the task. If it's small and simple, write it alone. Faster, cleaner. But if it's big and complex, you need a team. No single person has all the skills. You need people who see what you can't see.
So teams are for the big things, and I think that's where the many hands idea comes in. Many hands make light work. More people sharing a big job means less weight for each person.
That's the proverb, many hands make light work. But there's another one that contradicts it. Too many cooks spoil the broth. If you put too many people on something simple, they'll ruin it. Mess it up with too many opinions. So it's about matching the team to the task.
Two proverbs that disagree with each other. English is great like that. So the skill is knowing when to gather hands and when to stop. Too few people and you're overwhelmed. Too many and you're tripping over each other.
Exactly. There's a sweet spot, the perfect middle point. And a good rule of thumb, a rough guide, is the smallest team that can do the job. Small teams are fast, clear, and hard to hide in. Big teams are slow, fuzzy, and full of free riders.
The smallest team that can do the job. I like that rule. And you know what? I think we've been demonstrating good teamwork all episode without noticing.
Have we? We're just two people talking. No assigned tasks, no deadlines.
Exactly. And that's the point. Our team is the right size, our roles are clear, I ask questions, you give answers, and we're having fun. That's what good teamwork looks like. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay, you've made your point. And it's a good one. Teams don't need to be perfect. They need to be clear, safe, and the right size. Add a little respect, and you've got something that actually works.
So let me ask you the question I opened with, but in reverse. Think of the best team you've ever been on. What made it work? I want the honest answer, not the textbook one.
Honestly, trust. In my best team, I trusted that everyone would do their part, that I could relax because nobody would drop the ball, and they trusted me the same way. We weren't watching each other, we were working together. That's the feeling. That's what good teams are.
Trust means you can relax because the team has your back. You know they'll support you. The opposite of those anxious teams where everyone's defending themselves. You can't do great work while protecting yourself.
Exactly. And there's a beautiful phrase for it. A rising tide lifts all boats. It means when things go well for the group, everyone benefits. A good team isn't about individual stars. It's about lifting each other. The tide, not the boat.
A rising tide lifts all boats. That's going on the poster with everything else. Okay, let me play devil's advocate one more time, because I think it's important. Isn't there something lost when you always work in teams? Isn't there value in the lone genius, the person working alone on something brilliant?
I was waiting for that. And sure, some work is solitary, and some geniuses work alone. But here's the secret. Even the lone genius stands on a team. Someone taught them, funded them, reviewed their work. Nobody builds anything entirely alone.
That's true. Even the person working alone in a room is carrying the work of 1,000 people who came before. Teachers, mentors, colleagues, friends. So maybe it takes a village. The saying that a big task needs many people applies to everything, even the lone genius.
It takes a village. That's the phrase. And honestly, that's the most meaningful part of this conversation. Teamwork isn't just about projects at work or school. It's how humans have always worked. A family is a team. A friendship is a team. A society is a team.
That's a beautiful way to widen the lens. And it changes the ending of our story, doesn't it? We started with teamwork failing. Free riders, dropped balls, meetings about meetings. But the truth is, teamwork doesn't fail. Bad teams fail. And bad teams can become good teams.
Yes, that's the message I want people to take away. A bad team isn't a death sentence. It's a system that can be fixed. Name the problem. Talk about it. Assign everything. Celebrate the wins. It's not magic. It's just intentional. Done on purpose, with care.
So here's our challenge for this week. Look at one team in your life, work, school, family, anything, and apply one fix. Just one. Name one problem, start one conversation, or assign one task with a deadline.
Yes, one fix. That's all it takes to get the ball rolling, to get things started. One honest conversation can change an entire team. I've seen it happen, and I want to hear about it. Tell us in the comments what fix you tried.
And for our English learners, You now have a toolkit of teamwork vocabulary. Pull your weight, pick up the slack, drop the ball, pass the buck, get on the same page, touch base, air it out, clear the air. Use them this week.
And don't forget the proverbs. Too many cooks spoil the broth. Many hands make light work. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. These come up all the time in business English. Learn them and you'll sound like a native speaker in meetings.
Okay, let me land this because I want to end on something real. We spent this whole episode talking about why teamwork fails, but maybe the real question is why we keep trying. Why do we keep joining teams despite all the free riders and the dropped balls?
Because when it works, it's the best feeling in the world. There's nothing like being part of something bigger than yourself, a group that achieves what none of you could alone. The failures are loud, but the successes are deep. That's why we keep trying.
And I think that's the truest thing we've said all episode. A great team doesn't just get the job done. It makes you better. You learn, you grow, you see things you'd never have seen alone. The team is the mirror, showing you who you could become.
The team is the mirror. Wow. And the people around you, the good ones, the honest ones, see you more clearly than you see yourself. They know your strengths before you do. That's the gift of a good team. Not just work, growth.
So maybe the real fix for failing teamwork isn't a checklist, though the checklist helps. It's remembering what teams are for, not just getting things done, getting them done together while becoming better people in the process.
And if you're in a bad team right now, don't give up on teamwork. Give up on that team's habits, not on the idea. Fix one thing this week, and if they won't fix it with you, protect your energy, do your part, and find your people.
Thank you for being with us today, everyone. Go be the teammate you'd want to have, the one who speaks up, supports, and celebrates others. See you next time. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. And remember, the best teams don't make you feel small. They make you feel like the best version of yourself. Find that team or build it. Take care and see you next time.